Better to, you know, to have humor, that's all.
Yeah.
A sense of humor. And not take yourself too seriously.
Do you believe in love? Cause I got something to say about it. And it goes something like this.
Hi, I'm Kurt Loder. Welcome to Breakfast with Madonna. Not breakfast right here and now, actually. This is more like a light tea. What happened was we were in Tokyo last April when Madonna launched her 1990 world tour. It was a Friday the 13th. The first concert was held at a brand new open-air stadium about 2 hours outside of Tokyo, and it poured rain. Not the best of conditions, actually, and frankly, prospects for a post-show interview looked pretty bad. But then back in Tokyo after the show, well past midnight, we got a call. Madonna would in fact grace us with her presence. So we hustled over to her hotel suite all the way across town, and there came upon the most remarkable scene. The room we were ushered into was filled with wreathing, bare-chested male dancers, all gyrating wildly to some booming dance pop track on a stereo. In the middle of all this, up on a coffee table, stood Madonna herself, wearing boxer shorts and a black bra, and flailing away with equal abandon. Well, at least we knew we were in the right place. So we went into another room, set up all our cameras, and about an hour later, Madonna, having apparently exhausted all of her dancing companions, appeared in our doorway, wearing a relatively demure bathrobe. She took a seat on a couch, ordered a cup of tea, and off we went.
Just tell people I just woke up.
Yeah.
You had breakfast with Madonna.
I'm having my morning tea. I feel so rested.
We started out talking about religion. Madonna was raised Catholic, and Catholic themes have been woven through much of her work. Most recently, the video for Like a Prayer, which so upset her former tour sponsor, Pepsi-Cola, and the actual liturgical touch of Act of Contrition on the Like a Prayer album. Given all of this, and the outlines of Madonna's fairly well-known social life, we were wondering, does Madonna still consider herself a Catholic?
Do you still think of yourself as a Catholic?
Sort of. A fallen Catholic. Yeah.
Did you get any, like, hate mail or anything for doing Act of Contrition? Or, well, not hate mail, but I mean, did you get...
If I did, no one gave it to
Did
me.
your aunt, like, call you up or anything like that?
No. No, my relatives never call me up and say they didn't like something. I suppose if they don't like it, they just gave it to me. No.
But you don't go to church or anything anymore?
No. I'm not a practicing Catholic. But once you're a Catholic,
You're always a Catholic, right?
As you know, Kurt.
Actually, that's true, but yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask you about Oh Father, which I think is like the most amazing video. Has your dad seen this? I mean, did he have any response to all this?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know if he's seen it. I'm kind of afraid to call him up and ask him.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, is there other character aspects to it? It's not like your life line for line, or
No, it's not. But it's a lot of stuff in the story is drawn from my life. I mean, it's a combination of my father and other men that I've known. So.
Okay. And you haven't talked to him since about this?
I've talked to him all the time, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of unspoken, and we don't really. My father doesn't call me up and say, "Hey, I just saw your video on MTV." I mean, he never does that.
Yeah.
He just kind of tries to treat me like all my brothers and sisters. And,
That must be difficult, I would imagine.
well, he doesn't.
Have you heard from any other people that crop up on the album? I mean, you're talking about a lot of stuff in your life, and people say, I saw myself in that song.
I mean, yes, I hear. I mean, people that people I don't really know say I could really relate to them. So
Yeah.
no one really close to me.
Yeah. Do you find that around the world? I mean, if you're in Japan, do you have kids coming up saying, well, it would be hard to understand, I suppose.
Not in Japan, huh? No one's really spoken to me in Japan.
Really?
They just stare a lot.
Lonely life, that's awful. The greatest advertising hoo-ha of all time was your Pepsi deal. This was fantastic. You sign this deal, you do your video, you do their little thing, everything's done, you get the tour support, I suppose, and then the video comes out and they go nuts. I mean, what was that all about? Did they just lose their minds or what?
Well, I think that they were afraid of the controversy that the video was going to cause.
How did they put it to you? I mean, did they say, well, we don't like black guys doing this and with white girls, or was there anything like that? Or
No, they would never be so honest. They just said they didn't like it. And a couple of people were threatening to boycott the bottling companies in the South.
Yeah,
and
Donald Wildman, I mean, they would
Well, I think they were really afraid that this whole thing was going to, like, blow up, and they didn't want to do anything to harm Pepsi,
Yeah.
which is a sort of all-American symbol.
Yeah. Were you surprised by this? Or was
Yeah, I was. Because the video is, I mean, there's a fable in the video,
Yeah.
and it's about, you know, standing up for somebody and telling the truth, and I was shocked that they couldn't see that, but...
Does it make you wonder about future corporate involvements at all?
Does it make me wonder?
Does it make you
I
wonder?
don't spend
does it
too much
make me-
time thinking about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it comes up, right? And
Yeah, sure.
Did this all wind up?
Well, I think people think twice before they ask me to endorse their product. And what they see is what they get.
They should have known going in.
They
I
should have.
suppose.
I told them about the video.
How did you describe it? Did you say, it's me and this guy and we're...
I told them what we did.
Yeah.
I told them everything.
Do you have this show really sums up, I mean, like a prayer album in a way. You're doing stuff, Americans are a very regressive phase, and it's very sort of black and white, it's anti-gay. We've really become, going back to the 50s, and the stuff you're doing,
Yeah.
I mean, you get bad messages from people out there. Do you get any
Well, I
threats
just
or-
started. I mean,
But I mean, the record has been out. I mean, the songs on the record are like that. Do the videos convey that kind of...
I know the moral majority is up in arms against me, but
Congratulations.
the people, yes, consider it an achievement. But, I think that I'm offending, certain groups, but I mean, I think that people who really understand what I'm doing are offended by it.
What?
Because it's pro-life,
Yeah.
you know. It's pro, you know, equality, it's pro-humanity. So.
I mean, do you despair?
And that's not really the mood America's in right now.
What do you think that is? I mean, how did people come out of the 60s?
It's fear of AIDS. I mean, it's just this, I mean, it's like turned everybody into these, like, 50s monsters, you know. Not,
Go ahead.
what? No, that's my opinion. That's
Yeah.
why everything's changing.
What do you think AIDS has just allowed, like, the right wing to come in and say, well, see, that's what it leads
Yes,
to?
it has.
Yeah.
It has, but see, then the people who don't really know that are sort of following onto it and saying, oh yeah, that's why. You know what I mean? It's a small group of people who are leading people in that direction.
Yeah. Is it hard for you to try and convey these ideas in the stage show and still have, like, Gaudier costumes and stuff and be entertaining?
Well, I'm not interested in hitting people over the head. I think that, I mean, I'm not militant anything, and I don't want to be pedantic. You know, to me, it's more interesting if you interject humor in all the messages. That way, people get what you're saying, but they sort of get it. I mean, laughing, you know. I mean, there's irony in everything that I do, so,
Yeah.
in the show.
So you're saying, well, always leave them laughing, kind of thing.
Well, I just think it's better to, you know, to have humor, that's all.
Yeah.
A sense of humor. And not take yourself too seriously.
We'll be having some more. Welcome back to Breakfast with Madonna. During the course of our talk with Madonna after the first show of her world tour in Tokyo last April, we naturally got around to the subject of how she goes about writing songs with her two collaborators, Patrick Leonard and Stephen Bray, the difficulties of performing in a downpour of the sort that greeted her in Japan, and how much she does or doesn't like touring in general. We had run into Madonna's brother, Chris Ciccone, backstage at that show. Chris did some of the stage designs for this tour, but the main reason he was out on the road with his sister this time around, he told us, was, as he put it, who knows if she'll ever tour again? To which Madonna's response was as follows.
That's what he said he's out here for?
Well, he didn't really put it quite that way, but he led me to believe that, you know, maybe you would be...
I certainly wouldn't tour in this capacity. I mean, this one really wore me out.
Why so? Was it the rain? Was it the...
No, not this show, this
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
This, putting it together, because I really put a lot of myself into it. I think it's a real personal statement, and it's much more theatrical than anything I've ever done. And I think that it is much more of a theater piece.
No.
And in that respect, I mean, I had to pay a lot more attention to detail and set and costume and lighting and stuff, and it just took a lot out of me.
Does everyone get that sort of thing, you think, around the world? I mean, you're going to be going around the world. Do you understand the concept of theater? Do you think the Japanese understand the way Americans do or the French do?
I don't know if they're going to look at it and say, oh, this is like theater, but they're certainly going to be affected the way I think theater affects you in that there's a kind of catharsis, like from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a piece where we don't have to stop, you know, at the end of every number and like people applaud. I mean, we could really do the show without audience interaction, which a lot of concerts rely on. So.
Yeah. Were you worried tonight?
Except if it's raining, then I have to sort of ad-lib.
You were worried tonight, like Friday the 13th, that the rain is pouring down.
I do.
Dangerous up there, or what?
It was extremely dangerous, yeah.
I mean, really, somebody could have fallen off and died, or broken their leg, or
Well,
something.
I have a dancer who's injured right now. She twisted her ankle in a rehearsal, so I felt like a protective mother through the whole show, watching all the dancers and singers. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to the audience as much as I'd like to, because I just wanted everyone to get through the show and not get hurt.
Yeah. You've become a real dancer. I mean, I don't mean to say that you weren't before, but you've really been working at that. I mean, it's obvious on this tour that
Well, I'm working it in the show.
you've really got the stuff, you know?
Uh-huh. Thank you. But I have been working on it, yes.
But I mean, do you feel that too, that you really
But it
evolved?
helps. I mean, I hired a lot of dancers who were very helpful and collaborative in the choreography. And I mean, everybody's different in the show, and I think everybody said, okay, now we're going to do this, and so whoever was good with that particular style of dancing worked with everyone else to get it right.
Yeah. Now you have a dance director, but do you get down with these people and say, well, I want to convey this? I mean, is it a matter of saying, I want to convey stuff, or you actually show them steps? Or?
Well, no, my contribution was, this is how I want to present this song. And we put the songs together so that it was an arc, an emotional arc in the show. It starts off this way, it ends this way. And I basically thought of sort of vignettes for every song and how this is what I want to do in this song. And I would talk to Vince about the costumes and the feel that I wanted, and then he would fool around with it for a while. And then based on what song we were doing, he would pull a dancer or two who he thought were good at this kind of stuff, and they would collaborate together and come up with it. And then I'd come in and say, I like this, I don't like that.
Yeah. Think you're inventing any new dance steps here? Will you be seeing this stuff on the streets anytime soon?
Well, I think that a lot of people haven't seen voguing, and I think that should make an impression on people, and I think it'd be great if everybody starts doing it. I think it's great.
I mean, voguing was going to be a big thing.
It was, but it didn't make it, so maybe it will have another chance.
Why do you think it didn't?
Because they didn't have a spokesperson like me.
And why are you promoting it then?
Because I love it.
What's so appealing about it? We're trying to get behind voguing.
Well, you know what? I love this.
Also, you know.
I think it has a lot of humor to it too. I mean, it's just so sort of arrogant and there and presentational. You know what I mean? Self-conscious in a way, and I think it's hilarious. I really do.
Why do you come to Japan to start tours? I mean, a lot of people do.
It just worked out time-wise. I mean, it's easier to go, if you go to Europe, it's easier to start from Japan and sort of go in one direction than to like sort of hop all over the place and change time zones and stuff.
I mean, was it your idea to be the first act to ever play this place out in
No.
Chiba?
I would prefer to be indoors, really, because I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Last time I came to Japan, the exact same thing happened, only we didn't do the show.
Yeah.
And I was not going to, like, go through the same thing again. I was so depressed.
Did you find that after opening nights, I mean, I think everyone does, that things change, you'll look at something and say, that doesn't work, this does work, and you're changing.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, there was so much rain that it's really hard for me to know what did and didn't work in the show, because I was dealing with another element, you know what I mean? And I was just trying to get through the show and not break my leg and watch over the dancers. So.
Can you tell me how you work with Patrick and Stephen as in producing and songwriting, or are you the person who's in charge, or is it a total equal collaboration? I understand. I learned today that you play like guitar and keyboards. I never do that.
An equal collaboration? I suppose in the beginning it is, but in the end, I say what goes and what doesn't go.
That's
because
true. So.
It's me out there, not Steve and Pat.
Yeah.
And they understand that.
But I mean, do you trade ideas back and forth? Do you come up with melody lines, or is it mostly lyrics, or?
Lyrics and melody lines.
And to get inspired for all this, are you forced to go out to dance clubs a lot?
No.
Or do you go out to dance clubs a lot?
I do, but I'm not forced to.
I was just trying to be wry.
Yeah. Rye or pumpernickel.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. Do you think, since you do go out to dance clubs occasionally, do you see stuff that might be the next voguing? And you see new stuff coming up? You're on top of this, right? You can tell us.
Well, quite frankly, I haven't been out in a couple of months because I've been working on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what's after voguing. But I'll let you know when I find out.
Did you have any difficulty convincing Gautier to come up with unusual designs for the clothes in the show, or was he?
No, he's
pretty
very
ready
creative,
for that?
and we collaborated on anything. I mean, I actually sent him drawings originally about what I wanted, which were the first. I mean, a lot of the costumes were like inspired by my stick drawings, and then he kind of elaborated and threw his stuff in.
Your stick drawings?
Yeah, I'm not a good artist.
I thought art may have run in the family.
No, unfortunately, and all my brothers and sisters are good that way, except me. This is my compensation.
Okay, we're going to take a little pause. In the course of our early morning conversation with Madonna in Tokyo last April, the talk inevitably turned to questions of love and marriage, her failed marriage to actor Sean Penn in particular. These thoughts were suggested by a song on her Like a Prayer album called Till Death Do Us Part, and here's what Madonna had to say about it.
I wanted to ask you about Till Death Do Us Part, too. I mean, do you still believe that love is a possibility? I mean, you're not soured on the whole concept? Well, okay, there's a possibility. I'm sorry. But, I mean, you think of it differently now than you did.
Well, that was a point of view in the song.
Yeah.
I mean, that you just keep going back for more. No. I was just sort of describing a situation, not condoning it.
But I mean, you don't feel soured by
an
experience that millions of people go through all the
time?
No,
no, absolutely not.
Have you found love again?
Have I found love again? Yes, many times.
Since then?
Many times since then.
Really? Gee whiz. God, what an enterprising woman. Okay.
That's what they say.
You had said once when you were doing Speed the Plow, you were dandling some babe on your knee, I think, a child, and say, well, this is my next project. I don't know if you remember this or not, like the Madonna baby.
I was in a capricious mood.
Oh, okay. So we shouldn't take that.
Well, my next project was not that.
No, it turned out to be a movie and an album, but I just wondered if you were still, I mean, you want to have kids at some point? Or...
Yeah.
Now, my next question is, would they be with
Please don't ask me with who.
This is because Warren Beatty did this interview with Barbara Walters, a really terrible interview, but he did this interview, and he said he wants to have kids too, and naturally the question would arise, would you be having them together, perhaps?
Well, I just really can't comment on that.
I felt I had to try. I don't know. Is there a different sort of persona in the songs for Dick Tracy and the film also? I mean, is it a new Madonna? Thing?
Well, it's inspired by the movie, so it's kind of in character, my breathless character from the movie. So yeah.
Hello?
You're breaking and entering, you know.
Sorry.
Sit down. Are you gonna arrest me?
If I were gonna arrest you, I'd have done it by now.
Then what are you up to, honey?
I think Lips Manless is dead. And I want you to tell me who killed him. Or maybe you weren't on his side. Whose side are you on?
side I'm always on. Mine.
No grief for lips?
I'm wearing black underwear.
You know it's legal for me to take you down to the station and sweat it out of you under the lights.
I sweat a lot better in the dark. I know how you feel. You don't know if you want to hit me or kiss me. I get a lot of that.
Look, you're safe. Big boy's in jail. You're the one that can keep him there. Give me a call.
The first song in the show is a Stephen Sondheim song, and then the other two I wrote, trying to keep in the period vein with a sort of modern feel to it. So, but there's, I don't know, 12 songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah. Is that what the album I'm Breathless is going to be? Like all stuff of Dick Tracy, or will it be?
Well, some of the songs are in the movie. The rest are just inspired by the movie itself, the period aspect, the cartoon aspect, the gangsters, you know, the characters, and who I was in the movie.
Yeah. Why Stephen Sondheim? He's like such a great songwriter. Are you a longtime fan? Did you know him?
I know him now. I knew who he was before I did the movie, but I was introduced to him and worked with him, and you know, I really respect him.
What attracted you to this? Were you a Dick Tracy?
No.
I don't think it was you.
What attracted me to it?
Yeah.
A good part in a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, a chance to work with a lot of great talent.
Yeah. Does it resemble, you know, any blondes you've done previously?
No.
Like who's that girl?
No. This movie looks like nothing anyone's ever seen.
In what way?
You
Can you
just have
preview
to
it
see
for us?
Find out. No. It just looks incredible.
Come on.
It's like a 3D cartoon, but it's real. You can sink your teeth into it.
Oh, that does sound good. We'll go see it.
Plug.
Okay. Okay.
And now I have to eat my breakfast.